month into the school year routine, which includes extracurricular activities and lessons. Just enough time, really, for parents to already feel sick and tired of the have you practiced battle and nag. It can be a real tug of war to get those kids to put in the time, all while you're putting in the money. So it's only natural to wonder, is this really worth it, or should I just let them quit? Sarah Davies says this is one of the most frequent topics that parents ask her about. She's an accomplished pianist herself, now a teacher and owner of the piano place. You hear this all the time, then should I just let them quit?
Absolutely. I mean, we hear it all the time. I wish I would have stuck with it, but I get parents asking all the time, you know, at what point do I let my child just give it up and be done, or do I continue to push them? And it's really hard because it's a fine balance with pushing too hard or, you know, easing up. And so I think we've got these 4 topics, these 4 questions that we can ask ourselves, which will help us evaluate, you know, kind of where the child's at, where we're at, and moving forward.
I love the approach you've taken because obviously you know firsthand the benefits of sticking with it and the reward that comes from it, and you're a big advocate of that.
Yes.
However, you're also practical and you know that it has to be worth the wrestle, right?
Absolutely.
So question number 1 that you say parents should ask themselves before we approach the quitting line is, do they have the tools for success? Like what?
Absolutely. So this is our toolbox. This is all the components that make up our child's experience. So these are things like, does the child know their clear expectations from the parent? Okay. This is, are we giving them encouragement, or are we nagging them? If the parent's constantly nagging, that can often, you know, lead to the child having a bad experience. And then finally, does the child have a customized learning experience? Meaning, is their teacher connecting with them and speaking their language? And if any of these things tend to be lacking, there's often a lot of room for quick, easy improvements by just working with the teacher and talking to them.
So don't throw in the towel before you've tweaked the toolbox, so
Absolutely,
to speak.
and working with the teacher is crucial on that.
Question number 2, do you notice a pattern of quitting? Is this in their behavior, in their personality?
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, when you think about your child, do you notice that the different things that they're doing in life, they are shying away from those hard experiences or things that push them? And we have a great example of a story. We had a student who I spoke with the mom. She's like, he's not liking it. He's not, you know, wanting to do it anymore. And I said, well, do you notice a pattern in Cub Scouts, in math tutor, in church activities, or, you know, different things like that, chores? Is he pushing against it? And the answer was yes to everyone. And we had this aha moment where we were like, you know what, it's not going to change if we pull him out of lessons. He's just going to fight the next thing that pushes him. And we learned, you know, putting him in these lessons is probably a great tool on how to stick with something that's hard and something that challenges you.
Motivation for the parents. I mean, what a brilliant move on your part as the teacher, kind of the outside voice and perspective, motivating that parent to say, no, 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 help them stick with it, because we do want those lessons to follow through.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, question number 3, do they need a break, ... or do you as the parent?
Right, and so we ask this with like the utmost sensitivity because it's hard. Like as parents, we've got lots of things going on. I observed this in my own house. I have 5 little brothers. We all did music, and I watched the other night as my mom's getting dinner on, running carpool, doing all these things, and then my brothers in the background are screaming, I don't want to practice. It's like, I can see how the parents are like, okay, we're done here.
Sarah, I remember being in tears, like all-out tears, yelling matches with my sweet mom, who was like putting me on that bench and setting the timer. It can get intense.
Absolutely, and like I myself, you know, had a hard time. I fought tooth and nail with my own mom, and I think what it really comes down to is we have to ask the questions from the parent. Are we overscheduled? Do we not have enough free time? Are we feeling burnt out? And if we can't, we need to adjust. We need to set our priorities, set aside that time, maybe get a little bit more organized, so that the only free time the kids have isn't being forced for practicing.
Great point.
Yeah.
We have to make room for what we're asking of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Question number 4, you say, is a biggie, perhaps the most important.
Yes.
When was the last time my child experienced a victory?
Yes, so this is huge. 10 out of 10 times when a student comes to us or a parent asking to quit, it's because they're in that low point. You know, just like life, there's highs and lows, and they're in that low point. We do not want our kids to quit when in a slump. And so what we do, and we actually schedule our lessons by semester by design so that they'll stay through the end of the semester, because we know they'll get to experience a recital. And recitals often leave the kids on a high, but
when they feel that success and hear the applause and tangibly see the reward
and they walk
of their
away
work.
with this awesome song that they can play for their friends, it's great. So we had this high school age student who got into the semester, started feeling burnt out, asked their mom to quit, and the mom said, we will finish the semester and then you can decide. So by by the end of the semester, this great student had this amazing recital piece, but then she had also had this really powerful experience of sharing her music to worship and to also serve others. And at the end, she had this decision where she didn't want to quit anymore.
Because she had felt it. She knew.
And the highs outweighed the lows. And that's what I think the driving home point with this is we have to give our kids experiences to taste those highs. The healing, the worshiping, the grieving, the comfort that can come from being involved in music. And those are what push us through those tough, kind of challenging times onto, you know, our ultimate goal of being a proficient musician.
So on point, so well said. Thank you so much. 4 questions to ask yourself before you pull the plug. And hey, congratulations are in order for you on your expansion. You just opened a second facility in Lehigh.
Yeah, so we're so excited. We are now open in both Draper and Lehigh, right on the border of Lehigh and Highland. We've got actually a fun open house coming up, our big launching grand opening. It's on Monday, October 16th from 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to do free consultations, give away some prizes, lessons. And we're really excited to have our teachers there, meet and greet.
More than just piano.
Yeah, so we do piano, voice, guitar, ukulele, violin, songwriting, all these different types. So it's really, really fun.
Awesome. You provide a great learning atmosphere for those students and a great support atmosphere for those parents. Thank you for helping us.
Thank you so much.